My dog Sam once grabbed his rear leg in his mouth and tried to walk off with it. He didn't get very far. My dog thought a dead bird was his new chew toy. I didn't know this until after I gave him a small kiss. This happened twice. My pug charges headfirst into the TV every night, without fail, for 8 years. My dog Lola was playing with a ball, then she got it into the fish tank. Then she thought it was a good idea to get it. However, let's just say RIP Bubbles and Mr. Gulps. My budgerigar flew freely in my flat. When it flew into the kitchen, it went headfirst into a frying pan hanging above the stove, breaking its neck. Well, this wasn't me or the pet itself, but a girl from vacation wanted to play with her pet bunny, so she put it on a slide and let him go down. The bunny was scared as fuck and literally died of a heart attack. She didn't notice and went on to play with a dead bunny for more than half an hour until her parents noticed the poor thing was dead. I once had a dog that would spend all day chasing shadows and reflections on the walls. When he caught them, he would just sit and lick the wall. He could have easily licked the wall for hours on end. Our pet hamster managed to get out of its cage, get down our dresser, crawl to my parents' room, and lock itself inside my mom's dresser. There was a bird outside and my cat saw it. The window was open. My cat jumped. We lived on the 6th floor. To this day, I still don't know if he caught the bird or not. My dog has this weird habit of going through the laundry in the laundry room to find my sister's underwear and then trying to eat it. He gets about halfway through them, then gives up. Then when he goes out to poop, he ends up pooping out the part of the underwear he ate. My mum started putting coffee in the soil in our backyard to help the plants grow. Turns out my dog has been eating it for months and this explains his newfound energy and hyperactivity. My dog is addicted to coffee. My rabbit was sitting on my bed, minding his own business, until suddenly I farted from across the room in my chair. He was so startled that he literally shit himself. We just set up our Christmas tree 10 minutes ago and my dog has already knocked it down, peed on it, and chewed on some branches. He also threw up on the carpet. That damn dog. My cat managed to hook one of his back legs in the handle of a plastic bag, and he is afraid of plastic bags. When he heard the rustle, he tried to run away from it, only to have the rustle get louder as it was right behind him. The faster he ran, the louder it got, and the faster he ran, he ended up running into a wall. My 2-year-old Labrador puppy once tore her way into the large pillowcase on her bed and got stuck in it. She was stuck like that for a solid hour as we were out at the time. My dog got inside the pool fence with a bone in her mouth. The bars on the gate made it so that she could not go through without her bone. He did not drop the bone at any point. She did not go through the large gap that she entered through. We had to let her out through the gate after she kept on bumping into the bars for an hour. One time my dog literally ran into a wall. There was no reason for it. He literally just ran straight into a wall. I was eating dinner with my family and my cat jumps onto the table. The table had candles on it, and as he jumped on the table, my cat's tail lit on fire. Oblivious to that fact until my sister yelled so loud that he jumped off the table, putting the fire out and almost giving my entire family a heart attack. I'm watching YouTube videos and I hear loud crashes of dishes, and I thought an earthquake had happened. I come downstairs and my dog's collar had gotten stuck on the bottom dishwasher rack, and she had dragged it all the way across the living room. Note the rack was full of dishes, so there was a trail of broken plates and cups from the dishwasher. We own a cat and when she was around 6 or 7 months old, she tried to attack a grey heron. When it flew up and our cat was still hooked on the grey heron's leg until it was several meters up in the air. When she decided to let go, I had to call the fire department to ask them to save our cat because she landed in a tree and couldn't get out. When I was a kid my dog was playing fetch when she turned toward a tree with a big hole half a foot off the ground. She stuck her face in it and ran away with over 20 bee stings. A vet visit later we bring her home and she immediately runs over to the same tree and sticks her face in it again. My dog used to bite cables to electric hardware when he was a puppy. Once he got through the plastic and got a shock. He looked at the cable like WTF just happened. After a few seconds started to chew on it again, just to get another shock. My dog, the real genius it was, chose it was a good idea to swallow a lemon whole. Not only did it run around whilst choking, but it almost died. Then it got worse because it coughed the whole fucking lemon up and proceeded to eat it. My little cat got stuck under the couch because she forgot how she got under there. I had to rescue her because she wouldn't stop screaming. She's beautiful and very sweet and loving, but the inbreeding shows. My cat won't use the litter box. He poops in the potted plants around the house, but not the real ones. He only poops in the fake plants, and that's why his name is Dipshit. My dog likes to play fetch with tiny objects. She's brought me a blade of grass, a tiny stone, blossom, a seed, stuff so small that it just sticks to her tongue, and she has to lick you a few times to get it to stick to your leg. Then she just nudges it until you attempt to throw it. When she was a puppy, my dog would bury her toys in the middle of the room. She'd dig the carpet, making a hole. She'd then meticulously place the toy in the hole, then bury it with her paws and nose, shoveling the supposed dirt over it. There'd just be a bowl in the middle of the floor, but she was satisfied it was buried and she'd trot off happily. I have a cat called Holly. He's the sweetest boy, but he's as dumb as a block of wood. Here are some of his most memorable moments. Every time he comes into the house through the back door, he'll jump up onto a wooden table that's just inside. And every single time he does this, he slides right across the length of the table and tumbles off of the other end. Now most people think cats are very meticulous when they choose a place to sleep. Not Holly. He can be standing in a bed of roses, and he will just drop to the floor and pass out where he lands. On more than one occasion, I've returned home to find him curled up in the middle of the road. Even worse, he hears me coming, lifts his head up, then goes right back to sleep. It's a miracle that he's not dead yet. One Christmas he decided to climb the Christmas tree. How do I know this? Hal is on the heavier side of the scales. You can probably guess what happens next. This was not the last time he attempted to climb the Christmas tree. One day, after we had gotten 7 or 8 inches of snow, my cat decided to be a brave adventurer and dash out of the door. She knows she absolutely hates snow, but always does this. I must also note that she has no clue what the fuck to do when she gets outside. She starts making this ridiculous meow/scream that is mind-blowingly hilarious. She runs out, jumps into the snow and disappears. I'm sitting there letting her learn her lesson. I hear a muffled meow scream as she very slowly lifts her head up above the snow. Her mouth stays wide open, her eyes pure in total regret, and continues to stare at me doing this meow until I came and picked her up. She did it again an hour later. Over the years, I've had a number of different animals: horses, cows, dogs, cats, a rabbit once for a few days, but the most gloriously stupid animal I've ever had was a horse named Bo. Bo was an extremely nice horse. He was extremely easy to work with and was solid-minded and never once attempted to buck, even as a 3-year-old. More on that later. However, Bo was not what we could call a very imaginative animal. In fact, he had a running list of things that he was well known for, such as getting his head stuck in a fence by sticking it through to eat his neighbor's hay. He was unable to remove his head from the fence until he was helped. Getting stuck behind the gate, an open gate. It had swung towards him, and he couldn't figure out how to go around. At one point, Bo decided to jump into a lake for a swim on a hot day. However, he mistimed the jump, and instead of splashing down, he fell face first into the water. He repeated this 3 more times until he got it right. Bo was terrified of cows. We raise cattle, but we had plenty of cow horses, so this wasn't really an issue at first. It became a problem, however, when he decided he had bonded to a newborn calf that we were bottle feeding. He wouldn't leave the calf's side, but when we would turn the calf out with the other cows as it got older, he'd stand, terrified, essentially over the calf as it grew, not realizing that the animal he had bonded with was the same thing he was scared of. A personal favorite, Bo didn't understand how to buck until he was 6 years old. Not that he didn't want to, he didn't know how. The very first time he did, he was running around a pen. and out of nowhere kicked up. He immediately stopped and stared at his own ass for a good 5 minutes with a bewildered expression on his face. He then promptly bucked for the next half hour with one of the most joyous expressions I've ever seen on a horse's face. Next episode's question is, what is your biggest I didn't think this through moment? To submit your answer for a chance to be featured, use the link below.